You're watching Masters in Trading Live with Jonathan Rose.
Hey everybody, it's Jonathan and welcome to Masters in Trading Live. At Masters in Trading Live, I get on here every day the market's open, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, go over the market, share some thoughts, and once in a while we'll even share our trade of the day. We're on YouTube Live. I got all the chat, I got the questions up there in the chat up, so if anybody's up there, you can get in the chat and that's real time. So thank you for you guys participating. Good morning. How's everybody doing? On Friday, I got to share that my son is a senior in high school and his last football game, or what could have been his last football game, was this past Friday. They had to win the game to get into the playoffs, and they ended up winning. It was a phenomenal game, and so many people reached out and wished me good luck. Good luck to Jaden. So thank you to everybody. Very cool family event. We got one more game this coming Friday. Super excited. All right. We're going to talk about 4 topics. We always got our 4 topics. We're going to talk about unusual optioned activity. I want to go over the names that we're seeing the most unusual optioned activity last week. So between October 21st to October 25th last week, these are the names that we're seeing the most unusual optioned activity. We'll go over DJT because that is consuming the unusual optioned activity. Sava and MicroStrategy as well. Let's go over to the slide deck. I see you guys. Hey, Brian, we got the win. We got the win. You guys are awesome. All right, screen share. Let's get to it. I'm going to start with the cues because it's always important to trade the calendar. And trading the calendar means we know election day is coming up. So election day is coming up, VIX 9-day. That's why the VIX 9-day is increasing. We have election day coming up. There's a lot of uncertainty. The VIX measures are just a level of uncertainty. Today, the 1 day is offered down 40%. Overall, what's going on in the market? Look at like the last 2 weeks of trading or 3 weeks of trading. There is nothing going on. Okay, try not to make something happen when there's nothing going on. We are in a wait and see environment. I do not like any ODTE or any short-term option trades right now because I just don't have any feel for anything. I'd rather wait and see. I'm always going to look at weekly highs and weekly lows. The weekly high of last week is going to be 500.28. Last trade 496.74. So yeah, that should be a little bit of resistance, 500, but let's not expect too much, please. All right, let me open up the slide deck and here we go. These are the highlights from October 21st to the 25th. So our advanced notice tool finds the names that have the most premium traded relative to that ticker's market cap. So we want massive, massive, massive trades in relatively smaller companies. So Robinhood is a $23 billion market cap company. Carvana, $42 billion. We're not really looking at names that are 300 billion or that are a 2 trillion market cap. The names with the most unusual options activity of last week: DJT, Robinhood, MicroStrategy, Carvana, and then a stock called Centene. Let's look closer at these different names. First, we're going to look at DJT. DJT is seeing the most unusual optioned activity, but volatility is insane. It's the highest volatility that you've seen in this market since GameStop. So yes, we are seeing lots of unusual option activity, but just because we're seeing unusual option activity, it doesn't mean that that's necessarily a good trade. DJT is trading at $44 when I took this screenshot. The expected move of DJT is absolutely just crazy. Here's the straddle. It's $24. This is so expensive. There is so much premium in this stock. Please don't touch this stock. I'm going to go to the next slide and I'm going to show you the downward skew of DJT. When we talk about skew, that's how they're pricing puts against calls. So with 18 days to go until expiration, just so I can show you how expensive this stock is, the 10 puts, and this is not a trade recommendation. I would never buy these. It's an awful trade. I would never sell them either because I don't want to pick up $45 while I'm risking $1,000. I just rather not do that. But if somebody bought these, the only way to make money is for DJT in the next 18 days to trade under $9.50. That is the only way to make money on these. If you bought the 10s for 50 cents, the only way to make money is the stock is trading at $44. You need that stock trading under $9.50 in 18 days. That is how obnoxiously expensive DJT is and what happens when volatility goes above 300%. So we are seeing a ton of options activity relative to the market cap, but then we have to do analysis because that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good trade all on its own. So Trump, too expensive. What about Hood? We talked about Hood last week, I believe. Hood is because of coins, right? Bitcoin, coins, that is a hot topic going into the election. We are seeing a lot of like the Maras and the Bitcoin miners seeing lots of unusual option activity. Well, these are just 3 and 4 standard deviation bands. And what we're looking for is when Hood gets outside of its range, just staying on the edges. Even these, we got a little pullback. It's not great. It stays disciplined. Here's a pullback, not great. Here, perfect. All the way down, all the way up. Right now, Hood is very, very, very expensive. And this is why unusual option activity, because we're at kind of a tipping point right here. If we look at Hood, Hood also has very expensive volatility. 90% volatility. Think conceptually. Conceptually, say these 33s. If you buy these 33s, you're only going to make money if we get above 33.64 in the next 18 days. Can we do that? Perhaps. That's a pretty significant move, don't you think? Trump, Hood, MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is just broken. Okay, you're just trading Bitcoin. This is trading at a premium right now. Again, if I show you how this chart looks, lots of sells. It kind of stayed right here. MicroStrategy is breaking out. This is another name. I don't know. It's kind of another one. I don't want to say another name's kind of broken, but you are just trading coins up here. Carvana. Carvana, $200 stock. Nice and pricey. I'm going to skip Carvana because I want to show you the one stock that's different out of all these 5. Because Trump, 300% volatility. Robinhood was 90%. MicroStrategy is just Bitcoin, 90%. The one name that we're probably not as familiar with out of all of these is Centene, Centene. If we go onto Centene, CNC, it looks like it might be a good place to get long. Okay, this is just going back about 12 months. I love stocks that are just gappy. They trade down, they trade up, they trade down. Hopefully they trade up again. But CNC, volatility. Look how much cheaper that volatility is relative to the others. CNC last trade, 62. CNC has already had earnings. CNC has released their earnings 10/25 on Friday. Maybe that's why we're seeing that unusual options activity, because we were seeing this is unusual options activity from last week. So out of all those, the name that would interest me the most would be CNC. It's after earnings, so that might make me go and look into further time. So rather than doing November for CNC, we might want to go out to December. And this is the analysis that we're doing on all of our stocks. So the top 5 in our advanced notice tool, when I go through these, I'm kind of canceling these out because they're too expensive. The one that I would look into deeper would be Centene, Centene. Now, we're going to go over the next 4 names in our advanced notice tool, and we're going to do this for everybody in our advanced notice program. Every single day, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, I jump on here for Masters in Trading Live, go over my thoughts, and once in a while, we'll even share some trades. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'll see you live tomorrow. Masters in Trading Live. All right, friends. So over the weekend, I was going through the advanced notice